risk management for the annual plan, the mayoral proposal and other fees and charges. Hopefully, this will be quick, but you never know here. We've got a few procedural ones to get through. Sandra will announce. The councillors are online. I believe Councillor Newman's going to be online.
Yes, he is. He is already.
He is there.
And Councillor Walker.
Online already, here a minute ago. Councillor Darby.
Well, I get it around.
Councillor Hills.
Councillor Baker.
Councillor Baker.
I'm here, thank you.
Councillor Walker is calling in from the Q Theatre, where he's now our observer.
I'm watching a play.
Present, Your Worship. Councillor Newman.
Councillor Filipina is absent. I'm welcoming to the table.
Hold on a minute. Can we move the apologies, please, and do the electronic attendance?
Okay, I want to move the apology. I will move the apologies and the electronic attendance. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Contrary, carried. There we are. Declarations of interest. Everyone's got an interest in here. Public input. No, thank God. Or local board. We've considered all that. Extraordinary items Q Theatre.
Yes.
Why is that something? We had the recommendation, which came from the last one.
Yeah, we have to have this as extraordinary business because it was referred from the budget committee.
Oh, so this is extraordinary business. We're not going to have that debate again. We'll say that 16-6 in favour.
Not completely.
Just move and second first.
Right, it'll be moved by Councillor Ferry and Councillor Henderson. All those in favour, please say yes. 16-6. Okay, thank you very much for carried that. Te Puna Monga Authority, we had a session on the 7th of May. I don't think there's a need to present again, but I'll move this and the Deputy Mayor will second it. Welcome Paul and Dominic. Oh, Dominic. Paul's not here. He's had enough and gone. Dominic Wilson, Head of Co-Governance.
I would quite like to have moved or seconded this.
Hey? Been done.
Sorry, we didn't hear. We didn't hear. Who's moved and who's seconded?
Would you like to move this?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Fletcher. Does anyone would like to second this? Sure. Thank you.
Happy to.
There you are. Welcome, Dominic. Right. Where the recommendation is to agree the operational plan. We've had a look at it, but give us a quick... Any questions of Dominic? Why do you look so smart today at this time of day? Dominic and I had a beer together the other night at the function for Marama Broil, which is very pleasant. Questions for Dominic? Why did you wait so long? A sensible question from Councillor Morris Williamson.
Yeah, no, look, this is just really quite minor. 2 or 3 people I've had complain in my ward about, and it's Josephine Bartlett's actual ward, where on the Mount Wellington they keep saying there is gorse and bush starting to grow on the mountain and take up more and more. I don't know if this is true. And they just keep saying, I thought we were going to keep that tidy and clean, and we're not. And I don't know if that's true, and if it is true, why are we not? I want to be able to say back to people, we're not keeping it tidy and clean for whatever reason.
And through the chair, look, it's a really good question, and the answer is that we're working with our neighbours about pest control to try and work with the halo around the maunga, and there is a lot of pests growing on the neighbouring properties, and because they're adjoining the maunga, it's not easy to tell where they start and stop. But the team's working very much because that's a real worry. So thank you for the question.
Thank you, that's a fantastic answer. That'll get me off the hook.
Councillor Turner has a question.
Sorry, on the back of that, Dominic. So we had quite a discussion the meeting before last when I came in about the monga and about long grass and the fire hazard, etc. So we've decided just to make a halo around the edges. You know, is what has there been? I'm sorry, I'm behind par. I haven't looked at it as much as I should have for this. I think you're doing on the whole a good job, but I still do hold my concerns about the amount of fuel that in the summertime is on the Mongers. Have we had any, has the Monga Authority come up with any decision on that yet, a firm one?
Yeah, firstly, the reference to halo was about pest control, and so, and that's the halo around the maunga, not the maunga property itself, if it makes sense. The fire issue, it's a serious issue, and I think the key answer there is that the Maunga Authority management team have worked really closely with FENZ, that's in relation to fire control, and have come up with agreements that are very carefully monitored by FENZ, and the agreements have involved some areas to be mown around the edges of the maunga where it meets private property, and so that mowing occurs, and where there have been fires, you know, the Maunga Authority has been quick to put media releases out to say and point out in all of the cases where fires have occurred, of course, it's occurred because of human intervention, human issues, and in all cases where fires have regrettably broken out, the systems that have been set up by management with FENZ have all worked, and so the point is that the fires haven't got out of control and got onto neighbouring properties because the systems have worked.
Can I consider in my head, can I visualise these halos as a fire break?
Some of them are definitely fire breaks. So if you go on some of the maunga, there's mowing that's regularly done along the boundary between private properties, but it's done on a case-by-case basis where there are clear issues that FENZ have raised. And it's been, as I say, FENZ have gone through it with a fine-tooth comb. But it's a very good question you've raised.
No further questions. Thank you for putting up and waiting with your two good friends there for the whole afternoon, but we do appreciate the work you do for the Maunga Authority. Just retire and make sure there's not... Councillor Fletcher wants to make a comment.
My comment will be very brief, but I really want to acknowledge Dominic. He is leading the organisation extremely well. There will continue to be points in the evolution of the Maunga Authority that will be controversial. You know, the treatment of fires and whether you want to use stock to try and keep the grass down, or there will be arguments around exotics and native trees. But I think Dominic is doing his best to understand that amongst all those perspectives, we have to keep moving forward. And I want to acknowledge his role in leading the work on that, and I think it's in good hands. So thank you, Your Worship. I'm just wanting to ensure that recognition goes to him for that.
Well, that's very well done, Dominic and team. Okay, the motion's, I'm going to put the motion. It's been proposed and seconded. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Contrary, carry. Thank you very much. I'm sorry you had to sit around all that, but it's an important part of the process. You are allowed to go home. Risk management update for the annual plan. This has been considered by the Audit and Risk Committee. Michael is going to speak to us unless he's dropped dead. That was one of the risks.
Councillor Dalton.
Councillor Dalton, John Watson, will you want to move this? You're on the Audit and Risk Committee.
Councillor Henderson, Councillor Dalton.
Oh, well, Henderson and Dalton, sorry. Okay, moved and seconded. Please address us on this there, Michael Burns, but we have had a good chat about it.
So this paper resolution just reflects the recommendations from the Audit and Risk Committee, and those were discussed this morning by Hannah. So I'll just take those as read.
Any questions, Michael? Anyone got a debate on this? No, in that case I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. To the contrary, thank you very much for that, Michael. Well done. Now we've got the Merrill proposal. We've had this recommended from the Budget Committee earlier today. Thank you for your considered debate. I'll move this, the Deputy Mayor will second it. I'm going to suggest that to save everyone a bit of time, if you voted against something in the Budget Committee earlier, we can have that noted against the item here at the governing body and carry on. Is that okay?
Yep.
So we have recorded those people who voted against bits of it. So I've moved and seconded. I don't think it needs any debate. I'm going to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Sorry,
No.
Your Worship.
Sorry,
Debate.
I apologise, Councillor Fully.
Is the floor open for debate?
Yes.
Yep, okay. If that's okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Your Worship. Look, I didn't speak in the committee because this is where the decision is made at the governing body, so I wanted to save anything I wanted to say here, and I acknowledge what others said previously, that this is the first normal budget that we've had this term, and I agree that this budget feels a lot more normal than others that we've looked at in other discussions that we've had. So I am supporting it. I am supporting it in general. But I did want to still raise some concerns that local boards in my area have talked to me about. And two items in particular, and the first being the fairer funding model. I acknowledge that, we've all acknowledged that the local boards got some poor advice and sometimes advice that wasn't timely, and accept and totally agree as well that we've all agreed to bridge that gap for the local boards for this year. But going forward, the local boards need advice as well going forward, because they do have cost pressures that they have to face in the future. But also the local boards that are getting more money, getting more funding, they also need good advice and timely advice. And I've heard that from other local boards outside of my board area as well. Your Worship, local boards in my area have said to me that they are facing the future with quite a large level of anxiety and some fear as well. The Māngere Otahu local board is looking at about $1 million, Otara Papatoetoe local board at about 1.4 million. And they say that that figure is likely, or they've been advised, that figure is likely to increase year upon year upon year. And so for them, the reality for them is that they do have difficult decisions to make going forward. And the reality for them, though, unlike what's suggested, and there's some wording in your mayoral proposal that local boards have to consider selling surplus, underused, poor quality property assets. But the reality facing the local boards in my area is that actually they will have to cut library hours, they will have to cut hours at their pools and their leisure centres. And if worse comes to worse, they will have to consider selling well-used, much-loved and very valued community assets, possibly even selling one of their pools or one of their libraries or something like that, or a community centre. And so for them, this model and this formula doesn't feel fairer, especially when we consider that the local boards in my ward are in the areas of highest deprivation in our city. So I'm just putting that there for everyone to know and to understand, and I know that other local boards across the region are also facing the future with some anxiety. But they all appreciate that we are filling the gap this year, but going forward, looking at those cost pressures, there are some huge decisions they have to make, and not good decisions as well that they'll have to make in terms of their communities. Secondly, the Fix and Finish Fund, Your Worship, the $20 million, they are grateful, of course, but the local boards want me to express to you that that is quite a small amount when you consider the costs for any of the projects that they would like to complete. I know for the Manukau Sports Bowl, they're at a point where they've had years and years of consultation, they've done their master plan, they are ready to go, but an athletics track is about $35 million. To paint some lines and put some gravel down is about $11 million. So that amount, that $20 million, is not a lot. We've heard in previous conversations how we've saved $30 to $30 million in the setting up of the Future Fund. We've also netted more than we expected in the proceeds of the sale of the airport shares, and yet not one extra dollar was put into that Fix and Finish Fund, which is disappointing for me, disappointing for Councillor Filipaina, and also for the local boards. that originally owned those shares. So I just wanted to put that there as well, Your Worship. They don't see it as compensation. They don't see it as a free handout. They see it as something, at the very least, they deserve to have access to, given the huge benefit that the rest of the city has gotten from those airport shares. So, Your Worship, I am going to support your mayoral proposal, but I couldn't leave today without bringing those concerns to the fore and to this forum. Kia ora. Thank you.
Thanks, Vid. The funding is coming from investing 6 months earlier rather than from the sale, so which you didn't support. Thank you for that. It's a bit of a shame we didn't have the well occur over here, but I'm sure they support what you're saying. So any further people? No, thanks very much. On that basis, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye, and we will record your last vote if that's what you wish. Is that right? Thank you. Okay. Yes, it was recorded. Extraordinary business. We now come to the extraordinary business of Q Theatre, and again, I think we've beaten this to death. Who was that? Who moved that? I was too quick. The Deputy Mayor and Councillor Fletcher. I think we'll just record the same result if that's all right. Although, all those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no, but we know that was 16-6, so we'll record that. Thank you very much. We'll use the same result as we had before.
Yes. All of those who voted against with the division and the budget committee, we will record as being against in this item.
Thank you. That's correctly what we're doing.
Just to point out that, of course, the Hokura rep's not
left?
part of this vote. Other rates.
Oh, I need other rates. I missed that. Where's other rates and bloody things here somewhere?
Other rates. Yep.
But they're really in that, aren't they, eventually?
Yep.
Other rates and fees matters. Yes. We had a debate on other rates and fee matters. It was approved beforehand comprehensively. I'll move this and the Deputy Mayor will second this. I don't think anyone wishes to say any more. Councillor Walker had a good speech about this before and we remember it. So I'm going to move this that we, all those in favour of the motion about the secondary, the other rates and fees matters, please say aye. To the contrary, carried.
Yes, can I have my vote recorded against the part of the vote in similar fashion to earlier?
You can. Councillor
Turner, Councillor Walker and Councillor Watson, all against clause A2.
Yeah, no, we've got that. We are, the co-papa of this thing is to leave the same results as what we got from the budget committee. So nothing's changed in that regard unless you've had a sudden change of mind. No, well, yes, you might have been well convinced of your need to take a spot on the stage at Q. But with that, thank you. I'd like to thank you all for attending, and I hope you get better there, Richard, so you can talk louder.
Thank you.
And I'll draw the meeting to a close. Thank you very much. It's left me with time to prepare to meet the Minister of